Hi, today is November 11th, 2025, and I thought I would do a follow-up to the video I did 3 weeks ago. The last video, I basically just reviewed everything I've done in the past year, and I had something going on with me, and I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to jinx myself, but basically I thought I was having a CIDP relapse, and let me tell you why. So during my vacation, during my visit to New Jersey in August, we went out there. I did the axe throwing and I did some activities. One thing I noticed while we were out there was I couldn't get past 9 o'clock. So they're 3 hours ahead of me. So 9 o'clock there, 6 o'clock here. And the previous year, I would stay up late. We'd stay up till midnight because, like I said, we had 3 hour difference. So midnight there would be 9 o'clock here. 9 o'clock there would be 6 o'clock here. So, but for some reason, this trip, which was this past August, I was running out of gas, and I thought maybe I didn't get enough sleep, jet lag, whatever the reason. When it rolled around 9 o'clock, and my wife and I wanted to go do something, I was just wiped. I was wiped. And I didn't think anything of it at the time. No big deal. Just, okay, I'm tired. Let me get more sleep. The bed at the hotel isn't as comfortable as my bed. I've got one of those memory foam beds, and I'm sleeping in one of those crappy hotel beds. And that's what I thought it was. So about 9 o'clock it was bedtime. I just wanted to lay in bed, watch TV, and just crash out and then try to get some rest and then do it all over again the next day. So I don't think there was any time that I stayed up till midnight while I was on that vacation, which is really strange because, like I said, midnight there is 9 o'clock here, and usually I stay up till 10, 11 o'clock and then get up at 4 a.m. Get ready for work. So I get back from vacation and I'm at the gym, and I am lifting weights, and I'm just doing light weights, just doing dumbbells. And I notice when I start pushing with the dumbbells, and like I said, it wasn't heavy weight. I'm holding it, and my shoulders just start shaking like crazy. But I can push the weight, but I'm shaking, and I'm like, and I look at my shoulder, and I'm thinking to myself, that's weird. Is that neurological? You know, and the first thing I'm thinking is, wait, am I having some sort of flare-up or relapse? So I just kind of let it go. And shortly after that, I don't know, I wake up one morning and I just felt like everything was just off. I just felt like I wasn't myself. Something was wrong, and I knew something was wrong. Something was off. I felt crappy. I had vertigo. I was tired. I was cranky. What else? I was getting more cramping. I was getting muscle spasms and cramping. My hands were cramping up. I noticed my shoulders were getting weaker. I was losing my strength, and I was really tired. And just the regular things I do at work for 8 hours, which isn't much. I water plants and help customers. It's a no-brainer. But it was just wearing me out. Just holding that garden hose, holding it up, holding my arm above my shoulder like this, and right here my shoulder was it was burning like I was doing just, you know, a whole bunch of these, but I couldn't explain it. And I was due to go see my neurologist. I was seeing her once a year. So I was seeing her, it was coming up in a few weeks, but I started panicking because my arm right here was getting really sore. And a buddy of mine that used to helped take care of me, D stuff. He was over the house, and I asked him, "Hey, can you maybe rub that muscle or see if maybe there's a knot or something?" Because when I was in the wheelchair, he used to sometimes give me a massage because my arm used to ache. And he made a comment. He says, "Oh yeah, I remember when your arms used to ache right there a lot." And it was, and he rubbed it. He's like, "Yeah, I don't feel a knot or anything in there." And it just kind of clicked. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, am I having a relapse?" So I emailed my doctor right away, all my symptoms, what's going on, and I tell her, I'd like to get in sooner. I don't want to wait until my appointment, and no response. So I wait 2 days, and then I call her, and I leave a message with the nurse saying, "Hey, I got to get in. I think I'm having a relapse. Can we get me in soon? I want to get checked out." And so I go see her, and she gets me in early appointment. She actually gets me in within a couple of days. And I thought she was going to do an EMG, but she just did a strength test, and she was checking me out, and she says, this doesn't look like CIDP. I'm like, "What do you mean?" And so she continues to do her tests, and I guess because my grip strength and some of the other stuff she was doing, I was normal, or I was strong. And then she was checking my reflexes, and then she noticed that I had what's it called? I forgot the name. Hyperreflexia. That's it, hyperreflexia. And basically, when she would hit my knee would kick out. But instead of kicking out, my whole leg jerked. And she did it a couple times, and she said, "That comes from your cervical spine." I'm like, "What?" And you can imagine what I'm thinking. I'm like, "Oh, okay, great, something else." So we set up an appointment, and I go get an MRI of my cervical spine. And I'm waiting for the results, and it comes back, and it's normal. For my age, they said actually it's good. So it's normal. Okay, it's not that. So she says, "Okay, well, let's set up a nerve study, and after that, then if it's a relapse or a flare-up, then we'll go ahead and continue your infusion of Rituxan." I'm like, "Okay, that's pretty simple. If it's, we know what works. If it's my CIDP, no big deal. Just get the infusion. We know it works. I'm not going to end up in the wheelchair." So she sets the appointment, and it was out a ways. Well, I start noticing more symptoms. I mean, the fatigue was there. It started with the fatigue, and then I noticed that for some reason by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I would just crash. And when I say crash, the energy crash, like I had to lay down. I started feeling like crap. I was getting mood swings, getting cranky, and I would lay down, but I wouldn't fall asleep. It wasn't a sleepy, tired, and I would just go lay down. I was done. I couldn't stay up and watch our TV shows, even dinner. I'd start eating dinner earlier because by 6 o'clock that was it. It was time to lay down. So I was, the thoughts in my head. Oh my gosh, what's going on? I need to get in there. And I was thinking about the timetable when I was first diagnosed, and when I got diagnosed of January of 2018, by the end of February, I was in the wheelchair. And then by April, I ended up in the hospital. I got even weaker, and then I lost my hands, and then the left side of my face was getting partially paralyzed. So I'm just like, this seems all too familiar. So I'm totally freaking out, and I'm emailing my doctor, and then I'm calling, and I'm leaving messages, and I'm saying, "Hey, I've got these symptoms." So basically, what my symptoms were or are fatigue, weakness. Those were the two. Fatigue, weakness, no stamina. I was getting tremors more often. I was getting cramps. My hands and my legs are cramping up. Since I started, I couldn't go to the gym. I went to the gym one time and try to do my warm-up set, which is lightweight, where I can do 12 reps, really easy. And I could barely get to the 12 reps. And I did some cardio, and my heart rate wasn't even that fast. I think maybe it was around 110 beats per minute. Anyways, I was just completely drenched and I was exhausted. I'm like, what the heck's going on? So, and then I had night sweats. So that was a new symptom. I had night sweats, like 3 nights in a row. I said mood swings. And then I noticed, and no shame on saying this on video, but I was getting low libido, which is really weird because, I mean, that's just not me. But it was just something definitely was going on, and I was really scared. So I did the update 3 weeks ago, and I didn't want to talk about it. And also because I was really upset. My mindset right now is different than it was 3 weeks ago. I was really scared. I'm not going to lie. I was really worried, and I didn't want to put any negative vibes. And that's why I didn't even say the word relapse on video. But I'm saying it now that I thought I was going to have a relapse, or I was having a relapse. So my doctor, we do a phone appointment, and she asked me what's going on, and I'm just like freaking out. I'm going, I gotta get in there. I gotta get checked out. I can't wait, 3 weeks. I'm worried about, what can happen in 3 weeks. I'll be on a cane, or, I didn't know because I was in decline, and it seriously felt like I was in decline. So she says, okay, well, let's get you in here. So I get in right away. And in the meantime, I set an appointment to see my regular doctor, my primary, because I'm thinking, well, what if it's not my CIDP? And I use that AI program, the popular one that everyone's using, just to see what the symptoms are, if it could be something else. And it said it could be hormones, and it felt like, well, I don't know what hormones feel like, but I'm like, well, it's definitely something. So I went to go see my primary, and she ran all kinds of blood work, like 13 vials. Was it 13? 13 vials of blood. Something like that. It was a lot of blood. So they did over 25 tests, and they checked all kinds of hormone levels and whatnot. And so I had to wait for those results. So those results started coming in, and they kept coming back normal. She checked me for rheumatoid arthritis, because my hands, I've been having that issue with this hand here. My hands have been achy. Negative. I don't have arthritis. I don't have another autoimmune. My uric acid is fine. What else was there? She did all the regular blood work. So everything came out normal. One hormone, estradiol, which is basically the estrogen hormone, came out just below the minimum, and she said that was fine, that I was normal, and I didn't think anything of it. I'm okay, so it's not that. I go and my doctor. So I haven't talked to her yet. I'm just looking at the results. So she talks to me after I talk to my neurologist. So I go and see my neurologist, and then she starts doing the EMG. And she was really thorough, and she stuck those needles in me. And if you've had the EMG, the nerve study test, it's not pleasant, it's painful. And every time she went and checked the nerves, it came out, she's like, oh, well, everything's looking good. It's not your nerves. In fact, you've improved. And that was really good news, but it was bad news too, because that meant we didn't know what it was. So no Rituxan for me, meaning no relapse of CIDP. So that's why I'm calling this video No Relapse, or something like that. It's gonna say no relapse, but anyways, so I am not having a relapse of CIDP. But right after the EMG, my doctor she was worried about me, and she ordered one more test. This is my neurologist, and she ordered a MRI with contrast of my brain and my brainstem. So I had to wait for the results. That took about a week, and just the anticipation of waiting really sucked. But it was good news because it came back and it was clear. So I'll say it once again. It was clear. There's nothing wrong with my brain or brainstem. It wasn't my cervical spine. So yeah, no relapse. So that's good news. Now let me go back to my primary. When she emailed me about the results, the test results, the low estrogen, she ran it by another doctor, endocrinologist, and he recommended some other tests. So they took more blood, and I didn't know what they were testing for, but they tested me for testicular cancer, Hep C, and HIV. Negative. Good news, but bad news. The good news is nothing's wrong with you. The bad news is something's wrong with you. They still don't know. So my primary doctor said, we have one more test. We can run a sleep apnea test. And she asked me about that, and I told her I don't snore. And she says, it doesn't matter if you might still have it even if you don't snore. So I am scheduled to get one in December. That's the soonest I can get in. But meanwhile, I'm talking to the AI program, and it's making all these suggestions for testing. So I have done most of the tests that it was saying. So I put it in all my results, and it flagged another hormone that was high, but according to the chart and the blood test, it was considered normal. So there were two hormones that were off according to the AI, but one of them definitely was below the minimum, but my doctor still considered that normal. So I started digging deeper, asking questions with the AI. You know, what causes this? What causes that? And I think I pretty much I think I know or found what it possibly could be, but I'm still going to do the sleep apnea test. So basically, I'm finding a balance, and it's going to be dietary. It's going to be some behavior changes, and I'm working on it. And the vegan diet that I tried out, I still try to stick to it, but for health reasons, I said I was doing that for health reasons, and I don't want to put a label on it. So I mostly do that. I still will not do dairy, but I am reintroducing some meat. I started eating some fish, and I actually added some chicken, a little bit. I tried a little bit of pork, and some beef, but mainly fish. You know, that's going to be my go-to. But every time I notice, and it's only been maybe 2 weeks since I've been back in the gym, I started doing really light weights with pulleys and then more stretching. And I noticed another thing, I was having aches and pains, my shoulder, my back. Those went away just by going to the gym and working out and stretching out. And then I noticed in 2 weeks, I put on a few pounds, but my muscle tone came back. Like, I lost muscle tone. I was wasting my, that was another thing that I forgot to mention here. My right arm was wasting. My right arm was atrophy compared to the left. And my neurologist thought maybe ALS. She was worried. So she wants to see me every couple of months just to keep an eye on me to make sure nothing's going on. In the meantime, I'm getting my muscle tone back. My energy levels, not quite there, but I'm not crashing at 6 o'clock. I'm able to stay up a little bit later. Another weird thing is I've been having insomnia, but I wake up. It doesn't matter what time I go to bed. I seem to wake up between 1:30 and 2:30. I can go to bed at 7 o'clock. I get up at that time. It could be 8 o'clock. It could be 9 o'clock. It could be 10 o'clock. Even midnight. And I wake up at those times, and it's really bizarre. I can't explain why that's happening, but you know, maybe that's part of that sleep apnea. Maybe not. But until then, I'm not going to stress. I'm just going to find a good balance, keep trying to eat clean and exercise. I think movement is key. So the good news is I don't have a CIDP flare-up or relapse. The other good news is I'm getting my muscle tone back, and I don't want to say there's bad news. It's just the unknown. We still have more testing to do, and I figure if it is what I suspect with those hormones, the changes that I've made, it should take 2 to 4 weeks for me to notice. And by the time I get my sleep apnea test, I should feel different if it's the hormone thing. If not, then we'll go with the next test. But that's basically it. So I'm not freaking out anymore. I was really scared. You could imagine that I was really terrified. It really was. When it first happened, I was waking up crying in the middle of the night, just like, oh my gosh, it's happening again, But I was worried, but I wasn't, because I knew that if it was CIDP, that the Rituxan worked for me. Unfortunately, it took for me to go all the way to where I lost use of everything to find out that worked. And the other stuff, the first line IVIG didn't work. The plasmapheresis didn't work. I don't know if the prednisone worked, because the side effects were, I had some serious side effects on that, but the Rituxan definitely worked. So I swear by that as far as my CIDP. But everything else, we'll keep grinding, and you know me, I'm not going to give up. So now I have some tools that I'm using. I said I need to identify what's going on and ready to fight it, and here I go. I'm in the fight right here, getting it done, putting in work, and that's it. So that's all I got for you. If you got any questions, comments, go ahead and post them, and I'll take a look at them. Until then, just remember, always improving. Peace.